Throughout history, God has raised up men and women who renewed the life of the Church during times of spiritual decline. Saint Anthony Mary Zaccaria was one of those remarkable individuals. Trained as a physician, he came to realize that the deepest illnesses of his time were not those affecting the body, but those afflicting the human soul. Leaving behind a promising medical career, he became a priest and devoted his entire life to leading people back to Jesus Christ, especially through the Eucharist and the writings of Saint Paul. Anthony Mary Zaccaria was born in 1502 in the Italian city of Cremona. His father died when he was still an infant, and he was lovingly raised by his mother, Antonia Pescaroli. Her deep faith and generous concern for the poor profoundly shaped his character. From his earliest years, Anthony learned that genuine Christian love is expressed through humble service to others. Gifted with exceptional intelligence, he studied medicine at the University of Padua, one of Europe's most respected centers of learning. After completing his studies, he became a physician and began caring for the sick. While treating his patients, Anthony gradually realized that physical healing alone could not satisfy the deepest needs of the human heart. Many people suffered from spiritual emptiness, discouragement, and a lack of living faith. This realization awakened within him a new vocation. After careful prayer and discernment, he chose to leave medicine behind in order to become a priest, believing that Christ was calling him to heal souls as well as bodies. Ordained a priest in 1528, Father Anthony Mary was sent to Milan, a city experiencing serious spiritual difficulties. Many Christians practiced their religion only out of habit, and the clergy themselves were in great need of renewal. Anthony firmly believed that authentic reform could never begin with external changes alone. It had to begin with hearts transformed by Jesus Christ. Recognizing this need, he founded the Clerics Regular of Saint Paul, later known as the Barnabites because their first church was dedicated to Saint Barnabas. Their mission was simple yet revolutionary: preach the gospel with fervor, live lives of evangelical simplicity, and inspire Christians to rediscover the beauty of a living relationship with Christ. Soon afterward, he also founded the Angelic Sisters of Saint Paul, a religious community for women, as well as the Laity of Saint Paul, allowing lay men and women to live the same spirituality within their families and professions. At the very center of Saint Anthony Mary's spirituality stood the Holy Eucharist. He encouraged the faithful to spend time in adoration before the Blessed Sacrament and worked tirelessly to deepen devotion to Christ truly present in the Eucharist. He also promoted the practice of the 40 hours devotion, a prolonged period of Eucharistic adoration intended to renew faith, encourage repentance, and strengthen Christian communities. Saint Anthony Mary was also deeply inspired by the writings of Saint Paul the Apostle. He frequently preached from Paul's letters, encouraging Christians to imitate the Apostle's zeal, courage, humility, and total dedication to Jesus Christ. His sermons were energetic, joyful, and filled with hope. Many people experienced a renewed desire to follow Christ after hearing him preach. Ancient tradition also recounts several favors granted through his intercession after his death. One of the best-known accounts concerns a gravely ill person whose family prayed with confidence at Saint Anthony Mary's tomb. According to tradition, the sick person recovered unexpectedly, strengthening devotion to the Holy Founder. Despite his remarkable accomplishments, Anthony Mary never sought recognition or honor. Constant preaching, tireless travel, and demanding pastoral work gradually weakened his health. Returning to his hometown of Cremona, he peacefully surrendered his soul to God on July 5, 1539, at only 36 years of age, surrounded by his beloved mother and his spiritual companions. Although his earthly life was brief, his influence proved extraordinary. His communities continued growing long after his death, carrying his vision of renewal throughout the Church. In 1897, Pope Leo XIII canonized Saint Anthony Mary Zaccaria, officially recognizing the holiness of the man whose life had been entirely dedicated to Christ and to the renewal of his Church. Today, the Barnabites, the Angelic Sisters of Saint Paul, and the Laity of Saint Paul continue serving the Church throughout the world, preserving the spiritual heritage of their founder. Saint Anthony Mary reminds us that every authentic renewal of the Church begins with personal holiness. Institutions become stronger when hearts are transformed, and society changes when Christians place Jesus Christ at the center of their lives.